Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Jessica Costa, and I'm a licensed real estate agent in Idaho. Today, I want to discuss the top 5 reasons for why I chose to move to Idaho. Okay, let's get started. It's no secret that Idaho is one of the top growing states, and there's a reason for that. In 2021, the GEM state welcomed 53,151 new residents, and 48,876 of them came from another state. And that's according to the U.S. Census Bureau numbers. From 2020 to 2021, Idaho's population grew 2.9%. Okay, so I would like to share my relocation story with you before I get started on why I chose to move to Meridian, Idaho. So in February of 2020, I came out to Idaho for the very first time all by myself. I didn't know anybody. I was looking for a place to relocate. I wasn't sure if Idaho would be where I would want to end up at. So, my goal was just to come here. I was going to look at the area, check out the weather, drive the area, find out if, where I would want to buy a home at. And, I never thought on the 4th day I would be buying my house. That's kind of crazy, right? Well, I did. And then I went back home and I told my family and friends, and I had a house to sell, and I had to put it up on the market. So I started that process, and then bam, the pandemic, it came and it hit us, and it was shelter in place. And excuse me. And now I'm like, what is happening? What am I going to do? So I just kind of rode out the pandemic. The shelter in place lifted a few months later, and by July I was living here and I was building my dream house. And I can honestly tell you that if I had not made that decision that weekend to buy that house and make the move, I would have regretted it. And I am so happy that I decided to sign on that dotted line that day, even though it was kind of scary. But it's always scary buying a house, right? Now, if you're anything like I was wondering about the weather in Idaho. Am I going to be able to handle the winter months? The summer months, I was pretty sure I would be fine. I like warm, and we have AC. So if it gets too warm, I just go inside. Winter, I guess you could do the same. However, I was more concerned about, having to shovel the snow, and I'm coming from California where we didn't have snow, so I really didn't want to have to shovel snow. Now, I understand we get snow here, so, I'll have to shovel the walkway. That's not a big deal, but I didn't want to have to dig myself out of the winter months just to go to the grocery store or run an errand or go to work, etc. So that was my biggest concern. And so when I came here in February, I came with jackets, but I really only needed a t-shirt and a lightweight jacket. And there was one day that I didn't even wear that jacket. I had it with me because, you never know what's going to happen. But there was, snow up on the mountains, and you can feel the coolness, but it wasn't too cold. So that was really interesting, and one of the reasons why I was able to buy the house so quickly, because I felt comfortable knowing that I was going to be surviving the winter months. So, okay, so That being said, I want to tell you that the temperatures that we get here in Idaho. So the average temperature range in the wintertime months, they pretty much go down to the low 20s and the highs of 50s. And for the summer, you're going to get the low 50s to the high 90s. Now, does that mean we're not going to have 100-degree weather, one day, 2 days, possibly? Yes, we are. And in the wintertime, we might drop down to the teens. Mostly that's going to be, hours that you're asleep. But, even if they were in the morning times, before it warmed up, those are few and far in between days that you get that type of weather. So, it's not that cold. Okay, so now why did I choose Meridian, Idaho? Let's go to my number one reason. My number one reason is because, of the location. So a location for me is going to maybe look different for you. And what I mean is that I'm from Northern California in Silicon Valley. So for those that don't know Silicon Valley, it's a busy area. And, it's the tech industry. So you've got a lot of traffic, you've got a lot of people, you've got a lot of hustle and bustle. I lived kind of on the outskirts of Silicon Valley. And what I mean by that, it was in an area that there wasn't a lot of congestion. Now, if I had to drive into, the hearts of Silicon Valley, I was going to be in the middle of congestion. So I came to Idaho for the first time in February of 2020, and I was searching for kind of the same area I was coming from. So let's take a look at the map here. I've placed a star next to Meridian, and I've circled the surrounding cities, and I've highlighted some of the amenities. As you can see, Meridian is kind of in the middle of the valley. Now, I live in Meridian, but not in the heart of Meridian. So I chose to live on the outskirts, kind of like where I came from. And that was my comfort zone. So that's where I chose to buy a home. Reason number two was the homes. It's a growing area with lots of homes being built here. And even the homes that are existing, they're not very old. Now, you can find those Victorian homes in the surrounding areas if that's what your preference is, or you're used to those. But where I came from, I was used to the craftsman style homes and more modern looking homes. So I'm attracted to those types of homes, and Meridian, as well as the surrounding areas, they have lots of these styles of homes to choose from. Okay, reason number three. It's the cost of living. Now, depending on where you're coming from, the cost of living can look different. But for me, I'm coming from California, and the cost of living is dramatically less in Idaho. Let's just start with property taxes. I can say my property taxes are 5 times, yes, 5 times less than they were in California. That is comparing apples to apples. And what I mean by that is the type of house I had in California versus what I made purchasing here, like number of bedrooms, the square footage, the lot size. That I chose something very similar to what I already had. So I'm comparing these taxes apple to apple. And let's talk about the heating and cooling of the house. I would say my bill is at least half of what I was paying in California. My auto insurance is less. My homeowner's insurance less. Gas is less, but it's still high. I'm not going to lie. So you can see cost of living here in Idaho is very attractive. Okay, so reason number 4. That's going to be the city plans and what the area has to offer. They're building and adding amenities in the area, such as expanding the village, which is our shopping center here. Topogolf they're new and they broke ground, and it's being built right now. And for those that have younger kids, we have Yahoo's Family Fun Zone and Roaring Spring water parks, which they're expanding on that now as well. And I love the fact for myself that I can get in my car in 15 minutes. I can be at the river and enjoying paddle boarding. And if you like to fish, you can fish in the river as well. You can float the river. A lot of people love floating the river. I haven't done it yet, on my list to do. But for those that like hunting and camping, you can do that, and you don't have to travel so far to do it. And I personally enjoy the hot springs in the fall. They are endless. There's endless things that you can do locally. We have so many free events that, like, live music and farmers markets and crafts fairs. And the food here is fabulous. And oh, we have a basic community primary from northern Spain with several basic restaurants to experience. You should really check them out. They're pretty good. Okay, so reason number 5. For me, it was all about the community. I moved here without knowing anyone, and I wanted to meet people to make friends. And there's a lot of new people in this area, and they're in the same boat as I was, being new to the area. So this means people are looking to make friends, and we have the commonality of relocating to the state. This opens the door, and people are warm and inviting, as we have heard the reputation of Idahoans. They are as well. And I have found this to be very true. It is easy to start a conversation with others and connect and make friends. So you're not going to be alone if you're relocating to Idaho. So there you have it, the top 5 reasons for why I moved to Meridian, Idaho. And the reason I'm putting this video out is because, in hindsight, when I moved here, I didn't have a lot of this information, and I had to find it out on my own. I wish I had the resource that could have made my move a little easier for me and my family. So this is my opportunity to give back and pay it forward to make that process easier for others. So if you are thinking or planning to make a move to Meridian or any of the surrounding areas like Boise or Eagle, Star, Middleton, Kuna, Nampa, Caldwell, please call or text me, and I'd be more than happy to be your resource and help you walk through the process. That being said, let's stay connected, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below.